Look around you. Your phone, your coffee, your shoes, your desk. Even the screen you're watching this on. Almost all of it has one thing in common. At some point, it was on a ship. And that raises a bigger question. If shipping is so important, why do most people never think about it? And how did humanity go from fragile boats on muddy rivers to giant steel vessels carrying the global economy? Because the biggest breakthrough in shipping history wasn't a sail, not an engine, not even a ship. It was a box. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some people joke that shipping is the second oldest profession in the world. Maritime transportation still moves over 80% of globally traded goods by volume, which is why this story is really the story of modern civilization. The story begins thousands of years ago. Long before ports, cranes, and container yards, people were already building vessels to move goods over water. The oldest known boat, a dugout canoe found in the Netherlands, dates back roughly 10,000 years. That means shipping didn't begin as a luxury. It began as a survival tool. If one village had grain, another had stone, another had timber, and another had metal, somebody had to move it. Water became the first great freight corridor because moving heavy cargo by river or sea was easier than dragging it over land. Shipping wasn't just transportation. It was the infrastructure of early trade. Over time, boats became merchant networks. Rivers connected cities. Seas connected civilizations. Trade expanded across the Mediterranean, the Indian Ocean, and beyond. Shipping moved food, tools, textiles, and raw materials, but it also moved language, religion, technology, and power. In other words, ships didn't just carry cargo. They carried civilization. For most of history, though, shipping changed slowly. For thousands of years, the fundamentals stayed familiar. Wind, muscle, wood, risk, and distance. Then came the modern acceleration. Steam power, industrial manufacturing, new maritime systems. These changed the pace of trade. Suddenly, shipping wasn't just about crossing water. It was about compressing time. The faster goods could move, the faster economies could grow. But even then, there was a hidden problem nobody had fully solved. Ships were improving, ports were not. Cargo still had to be loaded, unloaded, counted, protected, and moved piece by piece. That bottleneck held back global trade for centuries. And this is where the real twist happens. The invention that transformed shipping didn't look dramatic. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't roar like an engine or tower like a skyscraper. It was a simple, standardized steel container. But that box solved one of the biggest problems in logistics history: how to move cargo seamlessly across truck, port, ship, rail, and warehouse without repacking it every single time. Before we get to the moment that changed everything, a quick note. If your business ships from Asia to the United States and you're trying to reduce costs, improve visibility, or fix bottlenecks in your own supply chain, we offer a free consultation. We'll look at your current shipping setup, where margin is leaking, and where your operation can move faster and cleaner. Book your free consultation today using the link below. Now, let's get back to that box that changed the world. Modern containerization is usually traced to one man, Malcolm McLean. On April 26, 1956, the Ideal X, a converted tanker, left Port Newark carrying 58 containers to Houston. That voyage became the proof that containerized shipping could work at commercial scale. It was a deceptively simple idea. Instead of handling cargo item by item, move the whole sealed unit. One lift onto a truck, one lift onto a ship, one lift onto rail. Less handling, less delay, less damage, less chaos. Here's the part that most people miss. The container mattered because of standardization. Containers existed before McLean, but containerization only became a major part of ocean shipping in the 1960s, when ships were actually designed around it. Standardization is what turned container shipping into an international business. Once ports, ships, and inland transport could all work around the same box, shipping stopped being a series of disconnected handoffs and became a system. That's what made global trade scale. And once the model proved itself, it spread fast. A 1967 Defense Department contract using container ships to supply US troops in Vietnam helped prove that container shipping could work across the Pacific. That moved containerization from a smart idea into a global operating model. From there, the world reorganized around the box. Ports changed, ships changed, inland transport changed, supply chains changed. The modern economy started to look the way it does now. That's why the history of shipping is bigger than ships. It's the history of how humans learn to move value farther, faster, and more reliably. Ancient boats made regional trade possible. Sail and steam expanded the map. But the container made trade. It made the world smaller for business. And that's why people like to joke that shipping is the second oldest profession in the world. Not as a literal historical ranking, but because, well, the point lands. The moment humans had goods they needed to exchange, somebody had to move them. Somebody had to bridge the distance. Somebody had to connect supply to demand. That's shipping. That's logistics. It's always existed in some form because civilization itself depends on movement. So the next time you see a container ship, remember, you're not looking at just a vessel. You're looking at thousands of years of trade, engineering, and adaptation, and one deceptively simple idea that reshaped the planet. If you want help improving how your own freight moves, book the free consultation below. And if this video changed how you see shipping, subscribe, because the next story is how ports, brokers, and forwarders quietly keep the global economy alive every single day.